What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. In today's video, we are going to give you guys a step-by-step guide on how to install a meter box to manage and monitor your power consumption in your crypto mining farm. Alrighty guys, check that out. The Hobbyist Miner logo is on these meter boxes. And if you guys do want to get one, go over to 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐴𝐻.com and go ahead and purchase one and use the discount code Hobbyist. What that's going to do for you is not only possibly give you a great discount, but also it's going to put you in the running to win yourself a graphics card. Myself and Red Panda Mining have teamed up with the guys over at 𝐕𝐢𝐴𝐻, and we're doing a giveaway contest over there and giving away 2 graphics cards. So go over there and check that out over at 𝐕𝐢𝐴𝐻.com and pick yourselves up a Hobbyist Miner blue meter box. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and install one of these, a meter box, and you use these in conjunction with a plug and as well as a voltage meter monitor to monitor your power consumption in your crypto mining farm. And today we're going to install them step by step with an overhead camera. But how we're going to do things a little bit differently than a lot of the other phenomenal crypto miners out there is we're going to invite a professional electrician to join us today, going through the entire process, talking about it, why he's doing what he's doing, and what he thinks about the MeterBox.com Hobbyist Miner meter box. So let's jump into today's video. Today we're going to be going through how to install and set up your power meter box here for monitoring your power consumption when mining. So why don't you tell us kind of what parts that we're working with here?
So the meter box itself is, from what I'm told, this is the first time I'm actually getting to play with it. It's a deep box, which is great for anybody who's ever messed with electrical work. You want more space. So the more space you have, the better you are to be able to make your connections and all your wires.
So the deeper the better.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Deeper the better. Definitely gives you more space.
Okay.
That's the key thing.
Okay. So first inspection of this box from an electrical side of things. What are the goods and the bads when you're coming from the electrical field?
The box feels great. This almost feels like it would be an outdoor FS box,
Okay.
which obviously would be rated for outdoors. Very durable, strong. It's got a little flex to it. Probably not the worst thing.
Okay.
But it overall feels great. And then, you obviously got that nice little emblem on the top.
That's right.
That's
all
pretty.
my boxes are stamped. 100%.
That's rocking.
Awesome. So what other supplies do we have here? What about our cable? So this is not your normal cable. This is actually pretty thick.
So I was told that we are using a 240 30 amp, which would be a double breaker, 2-pole 30. So this is going to be 10 wire. This is what they would call 10-2,
Okay.
where it has a hot, a neutral, and a ground. But for this instance, our white is also going to turn into a hot. So we will be pulling our hot legs through the black and the white, and then obviously ground stays ground. This is a heavier duty wire. It's stranded, which no big deal. It's just a little bit harder to work with some days.
Yeah.
When you strip these things out, you will be a friend to your electrician if you learn the clockwise twist.
Okay.
I've
Good
seen
to know.
people do the counterclockwise twist, and you're just, what kind of savage did this?
Awesome. So taking a look at what else we have here when it comes down to the hardware.
Looks like you have a Leviton 30 amp twist lock plug.
Yep.
This is an L630. Great plug. Very durable, sturdy. Leviton makes great plugs. The function of these.
Yeah, you can show it from there. Go for it.
We have a little bit of a bend on these, but they're made so that when you put them in, they twist and then they're locked.
So they can't be pulled out if you trip over a cable or something. Yep. Yeah.
They're in there. You'll probably end up pulling the stud out of the wall before you pull that outlet out.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can pick these up at Home Depot, Lowe's. This one's directly off Amazon. I'll put a link down below for all these supplies if you guys need them, as well as the meter box, of course. So what are we going to be monitoring our power consumption on?
So for that, you have your Drok meter.
Yep.
I have never gotten to play with one of these.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm a first timer here. Simple looking design. I watched a video of one of your friends.
Oh, Mr. Chump Change.
Yep, big shout out to him. He gave me the learning curve necessary to be able to do this for you.
Awesome. Easy enough. Okay, so I think, and then other than that, we have some cable off to the side. This is a splitter here. I believe this is 16 gauge, and this is a 8-pin to 8 plus or 6+2 on each side. And this is just extra cable we have.
Yep.
And we'll be using this as needed during the install.
Turning your trash wire. Basically.
Yep, trash wire, exactly. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So where do you recommend we get started here?
So the one thing I wanted to touch on.
Yep.
I don't know if you have any direct say in the guys who make these.
100%.
They could make it a little bit more electrical friendly.
Okay, what do you got? Give it to us.
If they would maybe add, instead of having your set screws to be able to fasten it onto something,
yep,
maybe offset them just a little bit so that they're on the edges, towards the edges of the box, and they add a 3/8 inch knockout so that you can fit a Romex connector in here.
From the rear side instead of the bottom.
From the rear, or if you're going to use the bottom, you would obviously want a 3/8 inch connector knockout for that. Just so when you put your wire in, you have something that would lock it and it's not going to pull back out.
So it stops it from moving in place.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
You definitely don't want this to happen.
Yeah, got it. It gets snug on something, gets pulled, whatever, yeah.
That is the only thing that I would see that I would actually say, hey, if you added that, that'd be perfect.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I like it. So let's get started. So tell us what you want to do first.
So we're going to start by stripping our wire.
Okay.
Very simple. So because this is stranded wire, each of the wires is going to be individually in its own sheathing. Now, this is a rubber cord type wire.
Here, so you this up here. There you go. You can just move it more on the table. There you go. Perfect.
You want to be careful that you take a razor knife and you find a depth that works, because you do not want to go into your sheathing.
So you're not pressing down hardcore.
No, you're not pressing down hardcore. This will separate pretty easily. Towards the end, you want to give your deeper press. So that way it gives you a chance to peel it, and then it'll open real nice.
That looks like fun.
Right?
Okay, so you definitely want to give yourself a lot of cable to work with.
Yes. Obviously, that is one of the better things to do. Give yourself plenty to work with.
So what's all those little strings in there?
They're just tracers.
Okay, got it.
They help take some of the moisture out. And I am actually going to give myself just a little bit more.
Okay, go for it.
To work with here. When we have...
Especially when you have plenty of cord. We're not concerned on length right now.
We have 1,000,000 foot of cord over here. So, and do not be afraid to manhandle your wire. You're not going to hurt this stuff.
Got it. Okay.
This is stranded, so it's definitely more flexible and giving than it would be if it was standard Romex.
Got it.
But
versus like the orange 10-2 cable that you would buy.
That stuff there is a little bit rougher to work with. Yep. So just, get everything kind of squared away, and then bring your knife and start making your cut to remove your extra sheathing.
Got it.
Be careful with this part. I've seen knives go... Razor knives are tricky. They'll go quick, especially if you have a sharper knife.
Got it.
Will actually come up from the bottom and separate her out.
Better you than me.
I tend to straighten my wires out, and then I come back in with a pair of side snips.
Okay.
And I clean up the rest of it. Makes it a little bit nicer, a little bit more precise than using a knife.
Nice thing will be is this will be inside the box.
Yeah, you don't see it.
You're not seeing it, but it is nice to get it all cleaned up. All right, so what's next?
Some of these will actually have a strip gauge.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this strip gauge here, it will tell you the exact length of wire that you need to strip. So you can kind of hold it up there and figure out where you need to strip your wire to. So right about there. Then I come in with a pair of strippers.
Okay. And
your strippers, if you're not used to dealing with electrical, they're labeled for 10, 12, 14. Those are going to be your standard wires that you work with. This is a 10 wire, so we take her down to the 10.
And how much copper do you recommend we pull off or expose here?
whatever your strip gauge tells
Okay.
you. Looks like it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch.
Okay.
Get your clockwise twist.
Versus counterclockwise. Yep. Okay.
Make them nice.
Okay.
Then you just go back through the same way.
Got it.
Use your strip gauge so you have.
That is nice. See, I didn't even know that. That's really convenient to have on the back of the actual plug to let you know your depth.
A lot of times they do make you do them longer.
Okay. You're good. We're going to adjust the camera here.
Sorry, I'm kind of.
No, you're good. I'm going to pull it out more so you don't need to reach as much.
Pulling that bad boy into me.
Yep, you're good. There we go. Much better.
Now, you'll see. Oh boy. You'll see that this style of outlet is more of a slide it straight in and it'll grip and hold.
Okay.
Most outlets you see like 120, they'll have a screw here, and those are the kinds that you put hooks on. But these, they're a little bit simpler.
Okay.
They just slide right in.
Okay.
So we have our wire.
Do we need to thread it into the box first before? Okay.
You can.
Okay.
But
wasn't sure if that saves you any time.
Nah, when you have your wires nice and twisted like that,
they'll go in nice and easy.
Nothing's gonna fight you. So they'll go in and do what they need to do.
They can pull it through and just
pull her through. And there, like I said, if you would have your 3/4 inch knockout for a connector, that's about where I would hold it. Right there.
Lock it down right there. Got it. Okay.
Just got a couple little freebies going there. Clean them up. So that is the basic thing of our box for now. So we'll kind of set that off to the side.
Got it.
We're going to take your 6-pin cords.
Yep.
We're going to use these as, I guess they would almost be control wires.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great that they are red and black because in the electrical community, red and black are actually hot indicators.
Okay.
So this
makes it easy to identify.
Yeah. So since this is going to be 240, just from the electrician standpoint, what you do to be kind is you take your white, since it's going to be hot, and you actually wrap black tape on it to indicate for the next person, because it might not be you taking it apart,
that it's hot.
That wire is now a hot wire.
Got it. Just to mirror the black cable that we have already. Yep.
If you have an electrician that does it, he'll see that and he'll say, "Oh, okay, that's a hot wire."
Got it. See, learn something new.
All right, so we have all this ready to go.
Yep.
We're gonna take our two. Well, we'll do them black since we have the selection here.
We have plenty.
We're gonna take them. We're gonna take the ends and we're gonna bear them out. These are 16 gauge wire.
Yep.
So on our strippers, we're gonna see the 16 and we're gonna take it. Put it onto the 16. Now, I would recommend you do it about the same length, maybe a little bit longer.
Just to make your life a little easier when you go to twist these together?
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to twist these ones together. Should come off. If it goes off hard, that means your strippers are getting a little bit dull.
Okay. Should come off nice and easy.
So, our longer end is going to be the one that we twist onto that, our hot wires.
Okay.
We'll have to double check here. Maybe even on the gauge or the Drax gauge there, Drax meter, we'll have an indicator of how long they want their wires on that.
Okay.
We'll have to take a look. But we got our guide wires prepped now.
Look good to me.
On our meter itself, we have green wire coming over. This is actually the sensor that reads how much power is coming through the line.
And we just put that over one of the cables, correct? One of the hots.
This will slide over one of the hots.
Okay.
So if we look on the back, these set screws here.
Okay.
Looks like you're going to want a smaller style screwdriver to be able to fit these set screws.
So a small flathead.
Yep, small flathead screwdriver.
And that's why we're using this trash wire just to fit into the side of those.
Yep. Looks like they come from the factory fully backed out, so you won't have to do anything there. We're going to take our wire, our guide wire here.
Yep.
Make sure
I like how you call it a trash wire, so that's what I'm going to call it moving forward.
Our trash wire.
Yep, I like it.
Our guidelet trash wire. we're going to take it, and we're just going to take a look here to see what we... Oh, see, here's where it comes to have this nice tight twist.
Because if you put it in, some of the strands may start to come out, and you don't want that at
stranded
all.
wire you don't want to come out.
Okay.
So we're going to take a look and see how far this goes in. So I have that now backed up against the plate, so you can see that our wire is obviously too long.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you don't want anything exposed.
No. So we're going to take that back out, and we
so
are
do you
going
just cut
to,
that then?
Yep. We're going to just trim that down. Looks like it was about there. The other important thing is to get it so that it's a nice snug fit now. I don't know if you can see very well.
Yep.
We have that in there.
And there, no copper showing, which
it's
is great.
bottomed out. Our wire is completely taken up by the lug. So we're going to tighten that down.
Okay.
So it's counterclockwise to loosen and then clockwise to tight.
Got it. Okay.
Nice.
Perfect. One down.
Yep.
So now we're going to do a second one on this side.
Yep. Your two lead wires that are, I'm guessing that's what powers the unit. There must be some type of a small step down in here that
provides power for the screen and everything.
Yeah.
Got it.
It takes the 240 and
I see. Steps it down.
Steps it down to let this run.
Whatever it needs, which is so minimal.
Yep.
Just to display a screen. Okay. Got it.
Nice
cool.
Snug. A little bit showing on that one, but it's not going to hurt anything. All right.
So what do we got next?
Have this all set. We're going to take our faceplate.
Yep.
There's a dot on this.
Yep. On the right-hand side.
Dot is going to go on the right-hand side. So that is your indicator.
Yep.
Take our wires.
Put them down in there.
Get them down in there. All nice and happy like.
Yeah, so my understanding is on these that we're able to push it in and it actually clicks in.
Yep.
I have two of the Space Goats meters where you actually have to cut those off. So I'm curious to see how this one pops in.
So you can see the tabs.
Yep.
It looks like it's just one of those nice little forceful.
Yep. Ooh. Might have to replace my Space Goats meter.
There we go.
Sadly, they're already in the wall. Make my life hell. Very cool. That looks great.
Yeah, it's a real good fit.
Looks good and against that Hobbyist Miner blue color, you know?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Real good fit. Nice LED or was that LCD screen?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So we have our faceplate assembled. Now we're back to our, I guess this would be a sensor.
Okay.
We're going to take our sensor.
Yep.
We're going to slide it over our white.
And that's the one that we put the tape on.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's just going to be what senses the power coming through.
Okay.
And these wires are going to go to each one of these legs.
Okay.
Ground. So, okay. All right. So we are ready for our outlet part, I guess.
Okay. Yep.
Outlet.
Handy dandy DeWalt.
Yeah. I'm an electrician, and
Impact driver through and through.
After years of doing screws by hand,
you're done with it.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
The key with this is you don't get over rammy and back the screws out too
Sure.
far.
Yep.
All right.
So
we're
we
going
got
to take our ground, and now because these are the straight ones, you almost got to do them upside down. So
because it's got that little plate in there in order to give you a good connection.
All right. So our stripping gauge was good.
Yep.
We have a little bit showing, but so I use an impact.
Yep.
And I take it in.
There you go.
Till it impacts once or twice.
Okay.
Gives me a nice good.
That is not coming out.
No. That's our key thing there. So it looks like we want to take these, and from what I saw,
yep,
your buddy, he just takes them and kind of twists them in with it. Which is a good thing.
And then you'll go ahead and repeat the same thing, but under our gold. Got it. Because these are our hots.
Yep. Your buddy Chump Change might have had me on this one.
Don't tell him that, okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell him that. His head's big enough as it is.
He might have me on that one. He might have stripped it out further than I did.
Okay.
But we got her there.
Yep.
So once you get it tight.
Yep.
Okay.
So 2 down, 1 to go.
Let's double check our wire.
Yeah, that little one is not coming out.
It's always good to pull back and almost back set your wire just to make sure that you have a good solid connection.
Okay.
So we're going to take our other one. So then our white one here has our sensor on it.
Yep.
Connected. We're good.
So I guess this is the huge benefit of having a deeper box.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not too crowded.
I'm not sitting there struggling with anything. So just because of that last one was a little bit, I'm going to take a little bit more off of this one.
Just so you can wrap it around the other one.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got a better wrap. All right. So let's try to keep our wires somewhat tame here. And then same thing, rinse and repeat. We're going to take this, we're going to get her started, and then we're going to crank her down so that it almost morphs into the other one there.
Okay.
And then just get it right like that. Slum it here for a hot second.
Oh, it's all good. Looking good to me.
All right. And since I'm a bougie electrician, I like to use my Klein tools.
Bougie.
Sorry for the...
Is Klein a more well-known brand in that scene? Okay.
It's
all
more
right.
of the electrician brand.
Fancy. So we have everything wired up where we want it. Now we just have to kind of button things up a little bit. And then here's our hardware here if we need it.
We start our mounting process.
Okay.
This is actually really nice. Looks like everything fits. And then they come with a couple little, looks like 632 screws and then 2 nuts that are going to go through our 2 holes here.
That'll hold our 30 amp right in there. Our L630R in place.
So here is where it helps to have that impact. You probably couldn't see it, but this is a real snug fit, which is great.
But you need just to get that push through it.
Yeah, to have that just so it twists itself through.
Okay, got it.
And then, all right. So I did it a little backwards, but we'll send some tape through it.
Okay.
Just to kind of cover up our connections.
Okay. Can't hurt.
No.
With the electrical tape around all the connections.
Yep.
Just so they're not exposed and also just to keep them in place.
I would recommend doing that before, you obviously put it in because now you see we have to.
You're kind of fighting it, messing with it. Yeah.
We're fighting her just.
Hey, lessons learned. I like it.
It's always good.
So based off the box design with all the holes and stuff it has in it, this is not something you'd want to use outside. This is something that, because of the fact that it doesn't really have the seals and everything.
Yeah.
Got it.
So if this was going to be something that was an outdoor rated box, there would actually be a small channel around here and a small rubber gasket that would go on around it.
And then of course you wouldn't have these random holes for mounting everywhere.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
Okay.
So here is where we come into play with our nice big box.
Okay.
We have everything done. All of our wires are good. All of our wires are tight. We have protection. Everything's good there. Good tight connections. And here, we're making use of this nice deep box.
Lower it down and you're good. You got screws over here.
They come with 4 nice little 632 screws. Get them started. One good twist in there. And then, just because we're me, we go back with our... one thing I will say is you're probably using a hand tool. If you're using an impact, this is definitely not one of those things.
Don't want to rip it. Yep.
You want to rip it down, otherwise you'll break these out.
Yeah, especially when it's plastic at the end of the day.
So there's your box. There's your whole thing.
I like it. I like it. So any recommendations, final recommendations for not only the meter box, but how about viewers watching that are like, hey, I want to do this and I want to follow Mr. Electrician and how he did it?
So I would definitely recommend watching a tutorial.
Okay.
That was one of the key things that helped me.
Alrighty.
Take it slow. If you're doing something that is with a wire coming from a panel, make sure your power is off.
It's always a good place to start.
Yeah, yeah. We don't want no shockings. 240 hurts a little bit when you get whacked.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. I mean, this went together for this is literally my first time doing something like this, and I would say that the learning curve is very small.
Okay.
Granted, I'm a little bit more comfortable working
with the cable itself.
Some of these things.
Stripping cable, manipulating cable, things like that. But awesome. So we'll go ahead and let's get this plugged in. Okay, guys, as you guys can see, we have this plugged in to our 30 amp 240 volt. It's reading everything we see here. So give us a rundown of some of the things that we see on the screen now.
Well, we have our voltage coming in, which is actually great. I mean, it's perfect. So most things when you come off of a panel, you'll see 250 and I think it's 130 volts.
Okay.
But a lot of things that you see when you test them with a meter, it'll actually be closer to 120 and 240. So that this is reading higher.
Yeah.
It's actually great.
That just means you have a better quality connection
from
here back to the panel.
You have great connection coming through.
Okay.
Obviously, I would say that the twist lock plug is doing its work, making great connection there. You know more about these things than I do.
Absolutely. So we have our watts too, which is what you're going to, from a mining perspective, you're going to want to look at your watts. And you're going to keep it that 80-20 rule. And the reason the value is there is so that you know, as a miner, how many rigs you can put on this before you get up to right around that 5,700 to 5,900 mark. And then you know, okay, I need more power type of deal, which is great. From there, you also have your amps. So if you're monitoring this on an amp level, some people will do that. And then with your hertz, it shows you that we're right at that 60 mark, which is awesome. All right, guys. Well, Mr. Electrician, I appreciate your help today. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
All right, miners, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for today. Huge shout out to Mr. Electrician. I had a blast building out our Hobbyist miner meter box. This thing turned out fantastic. If you guys are looking for any of the parts that we used during this guide, I'll put a full parts list down below so you guys can pick up everything on your own so you can follow along the guide step by step. Don't forget, go ahead and check it out, themeterbox.com. Use the checkout code Hobbyist and enter into the giveaway to win yourselves the opportunity to possibly win 2 of the graphics cards that are being given away over at themeterbox.com. Well, guys, thank you guys very much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.